Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Roo and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, I'm talking to you from a hotel room. I'm on holiday, but I did want to get a video out for everyone. I know a lot of people have been asking for some transfer tips, so it is going to be a short video, but I'm just going to give you my transfer tips ahead of game week 32. We're going to start off with Alexander Isak. While I've been gone, he's been on fire. Only 7.8 million now and has some very, very nice fixtures coming up for Newcastle. And I think because of these fixtures, I think it is a good time to bring in Isak. A lot of people might be thinking that maybe it's a bit too late, but he's still under 20% owned. And for me, he's still a very, very good option, especially with the fixtures coming up. Obviously, Newcastle don't have a double game week in 34, but they will have one later on in the season. So potentially this could be a really, really nice option for someone that is playing their wild card in this game week or in the next game week and then free hitting in 34. And obviously they'll have Isak for game week 37, which is he should have a double game week in. Other than that, if you're not on a wild card, don't have the free hit, I think he is a good player to have for the rest of the season. Newcastle's fixtures are very, very good. One thing I would take into consideration is they have been getting a lot of injuries recently, and it could start to take its toll on them, on their attack, and obviously it already has on their defence because the defence is down to the bare bones, but it could have an impact on their attack too. However, I think Isak being on pens, being in the form he's in, we've seen him whenever he's played, he's scored goals. 19 starts this season, he scored 15, 1 assist. So the geezer is very, very good, and he's on form at the moment as well. So I think bring him into your team, even if you're on wild card, if you don't have a free hit, if you don't have any more chips for the rest of the season. I think he's good for the rest of the season, and I think he can do well for you and your team. And next up, I did want to talk about the Chelsea goalkeeper Petrovic. So a lot of people have been speaking about him, and for 4.6 million, I can definitely see why. Although Chelsea for clean sheets are not the best, with the amount of double game weeks they've got for the rest of the season, they are going to have 2 double game weeks, probably in 36 or 35, and then probably in 37. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but they're going to play them fixtures somehow, so they're going to have more fixtures than anyone else. That is definitely a guarantee. They don't double in 34 though, so maybe this bringing him in is probably for people on wildcard that will be actually playing their free hit in 34. If you're not on if you're not on a wild card and you're not playing your free hit in 34, then I probably would go elsewhere, to be totally honest with you. I don't think it's worth making a defender transfer. And okay, some of you might have spare transfers, but I still don't think it's worth it. I don't think Chelsea are that good at keeping clean sheets in order to warrant bringing in someone like Petrovic. And for me, the only benefit is you're going to get more games, which means you're going to get more chances of a clean sheet. And that's the only reason. If you're bringing him in for kind of the long term, I think there's better out there. I think Dubravka for Newcastle's probably better out there, albeit their injuries are a bit of a worry in terms of defensively. But I think there are going to be better goalkeepers out there. For example, even someone like a Neto at Bournemouth could be a better option. Even David Raya at Arsenal could be a better option. So for me, if you are thinking about bringing in Petrovic, I would be cautious. Yes, they've got more fixtures than anyone else, but if you can do that after game week 34 and try to get in the game week 34 doubler, then I think that's much better way of going around things and a much better strategy in terms of the goalkeeper position. But you know me, I don't like making transfers for goalkeepers. You might be different. You might think that is a position you've got a spare transfer to make, and Petrovic is definitely a good option for that. But for me, I'd probably try and wait until after game week 34 because you're not going to be getting a good double in that. For example, if you are playing your free hit in that game week though, then it could be a good idea to bring in Petrovic, as he does have the most games after 34. So yeah, depends on your strategy. But for me, if you're free hitting in 34, then go for him. If not, then I'd probably go for someone else. So next up, we have a defender, Out Nori, so a defender that did score in game week 31. I've got him on the list because I actually do think he's a really nice option, and well done to those that did jump on him a little bit earlier. For me, the fixtures before he doubles in 34 are very good. Yes, Arsenal is a team that he's going to play in 34 and his double game week, so not the best, but I think that combined with the other fixtures pre the double, I think it's worth going for him. And I think at his price point, kind of just under, well, I guess under the 5 million mark, I think he's pretty attacking, as we've seen with the goal he's just scored in game week 31. I think Wolves defensively, again, not the best, but you can say that for most teams this season. And I think at home they can keep clean sheets. Even away from home, I've seen it, but I think at home you're going to be looking at them to keep the most clean sheets, and especially they've got a double game week coming up with attacking defenders in double game weeks. We know they can get a massive score. If they get an assist, if they get a clean sheet, they could end up on 15 plus points. So I think Out Nori can be a very nice option around that price point. Do I think there's better out there around that price point? Probably. You could probably argue paid a bit more, get an Arsenal defender who also doubles in 34. You could argue maybe pay around the same and get a Bournemouth defender. But for me, I think Wolves, not a lot of people are going to go for him. I know you could say a lot of people on the FPL community have already gone for him, but in terms of the context of the whole game, I actually don't think many people have gone for him and will go for him. And I think he could be a very nice differential that is attacking, has good fixtures pre and then a double game week in game week 34. So definitely a move for those that are dead ending into game week 34. So that means they're building their team for double game week 34 and then they'll be wildcarding in game week 35. If you're not, I probably wouldn't want to be holding them for the rest of the season. So it does depend on your strategy, which is going to be a lot of the time. I'm going to be saying that at this point in the season. But yeah, if you are dead ending into 34, then I think he is a really good buy, especially them 2 games before the double game week. So next up it is Phil Foden. So he is now just over 8 million. I know a lot of people did take him out ahead of game week 28. He did have Liverpool away, followed by a blank in 29, and then Arsenal at home in game week 30. I took him out, and I'm glad I did because he has blanked ever since. This is actually being filmed before his game week 31 game, just so I can get it out as soon as basically on Wednesday night UK time. Just wanted to get it out then, so people have enough time before the weekend to watch it. So I don't know what he does there, but for now it's all good. Now is the time to bring him back in. The fixtures do look very good with Manchester City. Again, this is a player that you should be bringing in, I think, if you're not dead ending into game week 34. So if you still got a wild card, probably bring him in on a wild card. If you still got your free hit, you'd probably be free hitting in 34. So I think bringing in City players, bring them all back. I think it is time. Again, if you are dead ending and then wild carding in game week 35, 36, then I probably wouldn't be bringing in Foden because you probably want to be focusing on double game week 34 players. If you are going for that strategy, then I can't really see a way around that. I'd probably just focus on them Liverpool assets and on them Arsenal assets that do double in game week 34. But if you're not dead ending in 34 and you are wild carding, free hitting in 34, or even don't have any chips left, then I think Phil Foden can be a nice option to go for. Obviously, some people even took out Haaland, so if you don't own Haaland, I think that would be the priority. Bring back Haaland, and then after that, I think it is a nice. To be honest, I think it's crucial to have a second Man City player, whether that's a defensive player, if you can decide on one that will play, or Phil Foden. We've seen how consistent he's been this season in terms of starts. Yes, the Champions League might affect that, but the City are now out of the FA. Are they out of the FA Cup? No, they're in the FA Cup. I've been on holiday too long. They're in the FA Cup still. And for me, I can't see him being rested in the league. I think it's too important to them. Potentially in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, that he could get a rest. But for me, I think in the league and in the Champions League, I just can't see them resting Phil Foden, especially now that City are, I won't say falling behind, but they're slowly, I guess, losing ground on the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal, I'd say. With that draw that they did have against Arsenal, it did really, I guess, put them behind the pack a little bit. They're still obviously up there for a chance to win the league, and I think they have to win near enough every game now in order to have any sort of chance. So for me, Phil Foden starts in the league. Phil Foden plays, and Phil Foden does return. So if you are someone that is not dead ending in 34, if you're on your wild card playing free hit in 34 or don't have any chips left at all, then I think Phil Foden can be a nice transfer in this game week. Maybe someone like Heung-min Son, who actually blanks in 34, could be an option. It is risky because Spurs' fixtures are actually not too bad up until 34. But yeah, for me, I think Foden can be a very, very nice pick. Next up, we've got Jared Branthwaite, the Everton defender. So not a popular choice because of the fact that I guess Everton haven't been great defensively. They haven't been great at all, to be honest, recently. And yeah, they are struggling. But 4.2 million, Burnley at home in 32, a double game week in 34. I think if you are someone that maybe doesn't have any chips left, I think he can be a nice option because he does have that double. He is 4.2 million. If you need to save money, I think he can be a good option. I think Everton will turn it around. I think they will start picking up results. They will start picking up clean sheets. And to be honest, Burnley at home is a perfect place to start with. Maybe he could be an option if you are dead ending into 34 because you've got a good fixture against Burnley, you've got a double in 34, and then you can just wildcard him out. If on a wild card, if you still get your free hit, probably not, to be honest. I think there are better players out there, and if you're on no chips at all, probably not. I think there are better players out there, but if you are dead ending into 34, wildcarding in 35, then I think Jared Branthwaite can be a player to bring in with Burnley at home, a double in 34, and and for 4.2 million, he's almost a perfect player to save some money in order to bring back some of the big hitters, potentially some of the Man City big hitters. That was it for this video. Please smash a like for the dedication for doing this while on holiday. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you in the next video for Game Week 33. Have a good one.